J with F.
Hello, my name is Juan Jose Estrada, and today I have such a special invite from, Venezuela. He is someone that I admire a lot because of his work. He's someone who shares his knowledge to everybody in the community, and I really, really wanted to invite him and take part of this, series of episodes where we're gonna be sharing and, talking about knowledge, talking about experiences, talking about a little bit of everything, and working with artists. So yeah, just without giving my introduction, Carlos Larez. Hello, man.
Hello, man. Thank you for the invitation, and that's a good introduction, actually.
No, thanks for you for coming in. I know it's been like a long process in between trying to arrange the interview.
Been talking around 3 months now.
No, because obviously I know that you work a lot, that you keep really, really busy regarding to your academy, regarding to all the services that you provide for artists, and it's been a process trying to arrange the interview. But thank you, you made it in, and
that's what happened. Finally, it's happening, and happy to be here, man.
No, and trust me, man, I'm happy because I told you I follow you, and I remember when I was watching one of your videos, and then you went I'm gonna make a live video UK time 8 p.m. and I was like, UK time, and then that's why I wrote to you and I asked you about it.
Yeah, I remember. I think I remember.
Yeah, because I was like, no way he's living in the UK, because it's you follow a lot of I follow a lot of producers, a lot of sound engineers in the industry. I learn a lot from tutorials as well, apart from uni, and it's finding that you live here was oh wow, that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
So.
And it was a surprise to me as well, because I was oh, this is a Colombian guy living in UK, and it's always good to know there is Latin people living around and that you can share.
No, absolutely. No, absolutely, and I'd really appreciate it, man. It's what you do is really, really good.
Thank you.
So yeah, let me. So basically, because as far as I know, I've been doing my research about you. And it's as I've said in previous episodes, I normally say that it's quite important for people to know about the people behind the scenes, the people behind tracks. And in this case, you've been mixing, engineering, mastering songs for other people, and I don't know, probably record labels, and you've had your experience, your journey through the music industry, and I think it's quite important for people to know, just it's me sharing that to people. It's not, and I'm learning from this, from the questions I'm gonna make to you, and I keep learning, and I want people to learn from you as well and see oh yeah, this guy does that, because most of the time it's podcasts and people making interviews to artists and their fans, and so it's I want to give that space for sound engineers to talk, share that and show yourselves, So what's your full name?
Carlos Eduardo Larez Caliquio.
Okay. Because normally just Carlos Larez. That's how you came up.
Yeah, that's the full name. I got family from Italy. That's where the Caliquio come from.
Okay.
And and I think that's the reason why I'm here in this side of the world right now.
In Europe. Yeah, but why to come to Europe? Why?
Well, really, when I left the country, my first place was United States, because it's what we must know when we are on Latin America. So I wanted to go to Miami or New York, Los Angeles. That's the music industry we know. So when I decided to leave, I said, okay, I'm gonna try there. But it wasn't easy for me, not just because the language at that time, but because to stay there, you need to do a lot of stuff, and it wasn't easy. So then I said, okay, I'm European citizen, so why not to go to Europe? So I picked Spain because the language, I thought it was going to be easier for me to develop my career there. And it was, till a certain point. But then I always loved the music coming from UK. Since I was a little child, I was listening to classic bands, and they are all from UK. So I say, all right, I'm gonna go there and see what happens. And yeah, but to make this a long story short,
I was literally just like looking for like the first video on your YouTube channel, and it's like 11 years ago.
Playing drums.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of like drum kit covers, and it's like quite good.
I'm a drummer. That's how I first started. I never thought I was going to be a mixer engineer. I didn't even know what that meant. So, but I started playing drums, and then I got interested in recording with bands and stuff. And the first time I stepped into a recording studio was like, boom, this is what I want to do. I always say there is a smell in recording studios that I don't know if it's the panels or what, but I like the studio environment. So I fell in love with that. And the other thing was I was so frustrated when I tried to record my drums or someone else recording my drums for me, and it was like, this is not the sound I really want. So I felt like I needed to know how was the process and how could I make my drums sound like I wanted to sound. So that's how I went to the whole recording and then mixing thing.
But like you grew up in Venezuela.
I grew up there, yeah. I left when I was like 28 years.
When you were 28. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So I've been like 8 years out of Venezuela.
Okay.
So I spent 2 years in New Jersey, New York, in the United States. Then I spent 2 years in Spain. And now it's been almost 4 years here.
Okay, so how old are you now then? If you don't mind me
I'm
asking.
36. Yeah.
Okay.
36.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's good.
I was younger.
Yeah, I thought you were younger. Yeah, you look younger.
That's good.
No, but that's good, man. Like, good journey, good experience time. That's good, man. Like,
yeah.
Because I know it's not easy to leave your country. You know, it's like the same as me. Like,
yeah, you know
it's
how
the
it is.
Yeah, I know how it is. Like, I'm gonna be 24 this year. But like, you know, I left 7 years ago, which I was 16 when I got to the UK. So I know the process is like, it's so tough, man. Like,
older you get, it's harder.
It's harder, and even it gets harder, like, to leave. Like, even if you say, like, I want to come back to Venezuela, it's like, it's the same for me. Like, sometimes,
I've done it 3 times already. Because first it was Venezuela, but then I was in the United States. I had to leave again to Spain and then to come here. So it's been a long trip.
But how like, why the music? Like you said, like you've been playing drums for a long time, but like, why the music? Like, you grew up with it when you were a child, or is it because of your family, or?
I don't know. It's something that it came with me, I think, because I was always interested on drums. Everything I had at home, I turned it into drums, you know.
And like, do you do it in school or?
No, never. I never studied music and music production, engineering, nothing. I just learned screwing up, recording from other people, and yeah.
No, and I'm quite surprised because like when I was like watching because I told you like I learned a lot from your tutorials. Because somehow, like, I've been reading books and I go to mix with the masters tutorials and Slay Digital stuff, and when they explain stuff, it's quite technical, but like the way you do it is quite simple, but it's like it's the same value, you know what I mean? So for some people, it's like kind of like easier to learn, and I find it easier as well because I'm that way. Like, instead of you just talking and explaining things, you just show it, you know, and you just demonstrate how you do it, why you do it. So it's really interesting, man. Like, I congratulate you for like, keeping on. And
thank you. It's good to know.
You know, like, empirical thing is like, it's good.
Actually, I learned from them as well. I go to mix with the master videos all the time, Pure Mix and all those, online sites. And I've learned a lot from them. But I always think like there is a lot of misinformation in Spanish. That's why I kept it in Spanish. Okay. Because that's one of the things I would like to do, is to make like a mix with the master in Spanish someday.
Okay.
So hopefully in a couple of years, probably we could make it. But yeah, I learned from them, and I all the time try to pass that information the simple way as possible. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but it's been a process for me to learn how to do it, because in the beginning I remember I couldn't even talk to a camera. It was like no words. No. And then I was, learning how to do it and getting better, like everything.
So, talk to me about your experience in the States, like, because I was reading the short kind of information you have on your website, and because trust me, like, I was trying to find as much information as I could, but I just kind of like couldn't. So I was like, no, I need to ask sometimes obvious questions, but like it's good, for people to know about you. So tell me about the experience in the States. Like, how was it? Like, what do you learn from there? What from people, like, for example, I've never lived in the States. I've been in Miami just once, but I've never lived there for like in the music thing, because a lot of people like dream about Miami and like the music there, or their Big Apple,
Yeah. Well, to me, it was more like a life experience than work-related experience. Because like I said before, I didn't know the language, so I was just learning to speak English, and I didn't know anybody at all. So I had to take any job I could to pay the bills. And then I started like going to different recording studios, trying to approach artists, bands, managers and stuff. And there wasn't like too many chances I had, but I had a really good one, and it was with a mixer engineer. It's called Rich Travalli. He has worked with Sting, with Cyndi Lauper, Stevie Wonder, all the rap and hip hop from the 90s, Dr. Dre, and he worked in what's that studio called? It's the Hit Factory. I think it doesn't exist anymore, but it was in New York at that time.
Okay.
So I remember I went to a studio in New Jersey, in Asbury Park, and I found the owner that day. And he was like, I'm gonna try to help you. And he told me about this summer camp. So I went there, I met Rich, and I was learning with him like 3-4 months in the studio. Wow. And for the first time I had the chance to get access to this, to big consoles, to compressors, hardware, and all that stuff that I didn't know them.
Yeah.
The time was like just reading reviews on the internet, but we don't have access to all that in Venezuela, for example.
Same.
So that was like my first contact with the commercial recording studio, and I learned a lot. And one thing that I learned, and to me is the most valuable thing, it was that I was hoping like, okay, I'm gonna get that trick or that equipment that he uses to make good records. And when I went to the studio, I found out that it doesn't work that way. I was he had experience, he had good ears that he developed through the years. And so I learned a lot. To me, that was, at the beginning, it was like I felt a little bit like, okay, this is the same thing that I already know, or I thought I knew. But then I said, this is the really important thing. And I decided, okay, I want to, and that's why in the channel, probably you have seen or watched my videos, I all the time talk about you need to learn how to work audio. It's not just using presets and copying some settings and stuff. It's not about the gear, it's about you do with it. So,
everything like from the beginning, like that's another thing, like, because obviously we come from Latin background, and the one thing about the urban kind of scene, the reggaeton and pop music, that's happening, is like the approach to make that kind of stuff is never going to be the same as making rock, and it's quite different in orchestral stuff, because it's quite different. So obviously for like new producers and people making beats in the box, it's kind of like, it's another journey they take. It's never going to be the same as, doing proper mixing of like, 15 mics of recordings for a drum kit or something like that.
Even if you work in the box, you should know about it. Because I think it's something that you should. You need to know where everything is coming from. It's like, I'm never gonna probably get an SSL console in my studio, but I know how to use it, or at least how it works. And that's important.
Because like the concept is the same.
Yeah, because then in the box you can replicate that. Some people use plugins saying, okay, this is analog feel, but you don't even know what analog feels like, you know.
So you explained already like why you came across like the journey for like, you know, you never thought to be a mixing engineer or like a mastering engineer. You started just with a drum kit, but like why do you decide to become a mixing engineer and just to work on mixing and mastering stuff? Like why what was the reason to like not continuing as just as a solo, you know, drummer, you know?
Well, the thing is, to play drum, I mean, if you play piano, you can probably write a song, right? But playing drums, it's like you need more people to play.
Okay.
So I was kind of tired to be in a band or trying to get together to a rehearsal or something.
Okay.
So it was like disappointing to me. And I said, I'm going to go to the studio. And I still play drums. I'm like session drummer.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't want to play with bands and, you know, pay for rehearsals, and this one didn't come today, and I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. So that's the reason, and I'm very curious about everything. You know, I like to know how to use a compressor or how a tape machine works. So I started like researching about all that, and yeah, I fell in love with it.
Amazing. No, I was just like curious because like, you know, a lot of people, they just like feel like they should come back to the musician life, not only the technical, but like, yeah, it's good, man. Like, why not?
No, and at the end, you need to know that even if you're just musician, and I mean, a good way, not just musician, because it's less than an engineer.
No,
I mean,
it's
yeah. If you just play instruments, you should have some technical, you know, knowledge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So do you only like record, mix, and master, or do you produce and compose as well? Like,
no, I don't compose anything. I never studied music theory.
Okay.
So I know some. I can hear something is wrong, it's not working, but I don't know how to compose a song. And I produce bands sometimes, but it's not my main thing. I have to have a really good connection with the artist to produce a song, because I think it's more like a team work between us. So I have a couple of bands that I work with in terms of production, but with mixing, I feel that's my thing, and that's what I like to do. Yeah.
Okay. So what type of like musical genres do you enjoy working on the most? Like that you feel like when mixing or like editing is like you really enjoy it? That you really like?
Well, I like rock music. I used to work a lot of metal music as well. Now I'm working a lot with reggaeton and pop music, which I like a lot. Before I was a little bit skeptic to it, but now the thing is, when you work with metal bands, it's like there is a formula. So it's everything is similar in terms of you know, like the way you mix it.
Okay.
But when you work with pop music, even when everybody says pop, it's like a formula as well.
It's a formula as well,
but it's too different. There is a lot of, you know, like different colors or different things different approach you can take.
And the dynamic range as well.
Yeah, it changes a lot. So I found it more interesting in terms of mixing, of course.
What type of music would you like to learn more about?
Well, I would like to work with some big bands or stuff like that. I never done it before, orchestras.
Okay, but like classical music stuff, or probably salsa stuff, or?
No, I think more classical.
More classical, okay.
I find it very interesting and not easy at all to do it. So I like that. But right now I'm learning actually to work with reggaeton music, for example, because I started like getting calls from reggaeton artists, and I was okay, this is gonna be easy because it's, you know, it's that music, it's just a beat sometimes, and that's what we think about it. But then I saw like, okay, this is more than that, and there is as well some things you need to know, if you want to make it sound like it should sound. And so I found it very interesting, and it's more like the in-the-box process, because when I mix rock, I like this. I like consoles, I like faders. But when I'm mixing reggaeton, I don't touch a fader. It's just, so it's two different things, and I like to do both, really. If the song is good, if the music is well done, I like to work
on it and just trying to like make it sound. So, but like, what do you think in terms of like, as you said, probably because it's in the box. So in terms of like dynamic ranges and trying to respect the laughs and that kind of, because I know some people like classical mix engineers, they will get like really stressed out with that because they will be like,
no, I don't care at all.
Okay.
In fact, I have a T-shirt that I sell on my website.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, it says I don't care about the loss. I know a lot of people, it's all the time looking for numbers and stuff, but I just don't care. I mix the song and I take it to a level that it feels right, and that's it. Of course, I check it out sometimes, but it's not like, okay, I'm gonna mix because of the loss. It's like, I don't care.
But do you give any kind of recommendations of like...
Yeah, well, it depends, because, for example, it depends on how the track was recorded, what instruments are you using, how is the low end, because sometimes if you got, an 808, for example, is pushing the meters a lot. Mm-hmm. And even when the song doesn't feel like that loud, the meter is going to say it is, because you got the low end pushing through. So it depends. But for example, for reggaeton, I try to be around -7, -6 sometimes. To me, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's tricky to get there, but yeah, it depends.
But yeah, like it is what it is. Like when you're trying to compete with like more commercial stuff,
you have to do it.
Even though trying to avoid the like loudness wars, but at the end of the day, they already they try to regularize,
No, and the thing is, they have the minor 14, for example, on Spotify. But the thing is, if you master your track at minor 14, it's not going to sound like that tight.
Okay.
Like it sounds, for example, at minor 6. So at the end of the day, it's just normalization in Spotify. So it doesn't matter if you go to minor 6.
Okay.
They are going to turn it down, but the energy is there.
Yeah,
that's the difference. That's
because like the other day, like one of my lectures, literally almost, I felt like this slap on my face because he was like, if you go after like -10, you lose punch.
Yeah, of course.
So
you have to sacrifice something to gain the other. So it depends. I all the time talk that to the artists, and I need their input on the mix, because I try to explain to them, if you want, your song to sound like with a good low end stuff, we need to sacrifice some volume at the end. So what do you want?
Taking in account from that answer, like, so how would you describe your sound as a mixer engineer regarding the outcomes and results you've got during your professional journey? So if you could define your sound, like some people, I know producers, they normally say to me like, my sound is like fat. I like fat sound. Or, how is your sound like? How would you describe it?
I like, well, it changes. It has changed during the time I've been working on mixing. But right now, I like to mix everything like darker than before.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if something that a lot of mixers, engineers are doing right now, but it depends on the genre you're mixing as well. Because in reggaeton, you can't do that. It has to be, very edgy sometimes. And because when you use clippers and hard limiting, that's the sound you're gonna get. But for example, when I'm mixing some rock or even some pop songs, I like to mix it a little bit darker. I don't know. I like that type of sound, but it's not about my taste. It's about the artist.
It's not about anyone, but like you have to think about it in a way that, you know, like if you go to Michael Brower, it's because he has sound. You know, because you know Brower can use the same compressor we got here, the 76, but the sound he's gonna get is because he stays. You know, I always do like an analogy of mixing compared to like cooking.
Yeah,
it's the same analogy. It's like you can give the same ingredients to every different chef in the world, but they're gonna make it, you know, taste different every time.
Yeah.
So like in that way, like the way you describe it is like you like to make more kind of like darker texture type of mixing.
Yeah.
You know, but without taking the high end, or like how you describe it?
No, I use a lot of saturation, tape saturation. You know, the tape it tends to roll off a little bit the high end.
Okay.
So that type of things I do. I don't use EQ, for example, just to boom. No, I use saturation, and it's along the mix.
Okay.
I start doing that from the beginning, the very beginning.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you, so why do you move to the UK? Like what do you find interesting to like move to the UK?
Well, like I said before, I always like the music scene here in the UK, but when I came here like 3 months after the pandemic started, and boom, you know, everything was shut down, and I just had to stay at home. So I think in 3 years I've been here, I had not the chance to be part of any community or the industry here in the UK. So that's something I have on my...
You know, like, because when we were talking on Instagram, I remember telling you about that, you know, like, there was a lot of like people here, and recently a lot of like, you know, Latin people is coming out as well. Like, obviously, the UK has always been like a big industry around the world, you know, but like in terms of like, as you say, if you aim into like, you know, Hispanic kind of language, people relate in the community, you know, London is a good place to start as well, because there is a lot of people here, and I feel like right here, I'm talking about from my experience. I don't want to offend anyone, but you know, I feel like we need more people like you in terms of like sound quality, because it's not only me saying that. It's like another producer called Dukus. He's another one who's always says, you know, quality control. He also always says that the quality control is the most important thing to like achieve competitive material and content out there. But I feel like, you know, we need more like people like you doing that, because there is another producer called Genialista. He is a Colombian producer, and he's doing at the moment that type of same thing. He's like, I wanna like break an artist in London, I wanna really break it, and he puts a lot of effort in his productions, and he's doing a lot. But he's saying it's more production. But if you think it's more like, you know, quality control with your mixing, because you got your ears trained and you got experience already, like I think we are lacking a lot of that in London, and I think you will help a lot if you get more involved with projects like that.
Thank you.
You definitely need to like come more often to London and do that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try, and I'm working on it really, because like I say, I would love to step in different studios here. Well, I had the chance last year or 2 years ago to visit Abbey Road Studios. And that was one of my dreams.
That's the dream. Yeah.
I went there. It was I think it was the 90th anniversary, and mixed with the master had some like it wasn't a master class. It was just like, you know, celebration, and they invited to Andrew Shepps and Sylvia Massey and, you know, Chad Blake, which I admire a lot.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I went there and I visited. But I definitely have to come more often here to London.
No, definitely, you definitely have to. That's something that a lot of people like are lacking a lot. Trust me, like quality control. Not because the music is bad, and it's the opposite. It's because the music needs to be elevated to like, because you can tell, you know, like when you mix something and it sounds good, between something that is actually professional and it sounds like top notch, you know.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you as well, like, because I read that you founded Prosonic in 2019. Can you talk about like what is Prosonic Studio? What is it? What's Prosonic?
Well, that was actually my home studio in Venezuela.
Okay.
It was around 2011, I think. But probably it says 2018 because that's like the second, the second part of Prosonic, which is the academy and the YouTube channel and all that.
But it was like even
so it was back in Venezuela, and so actually it was an actual recording studio. Right now it's just my home studio, a camera, and that's it. And my website.
Okay.
So I had to find a way to carry on with that. And because I didn't have the space and the money to invest in a recording studio, I said, okay, I'm going to start. Well, actually, I didn't think on starting a YouTube channel because, like I said before, I was afraid to speak into a camera.
Into a camera, yeah.
Yeah, but it was something like I had to do, because the pandemic, I was at home, I didn't have any clients. The one I had in my country, wow. I mean, it was a long time since I worked with them in Venezuela, so I lost contact with them, and I was okay, I have to do something. So I remember I said, okay, I'm gonna go back to my thing, which is drums. I bought an electronic drum kit.
Okay.
And I remember I found one very cheap, but very good. And I made a video talking about it. And so a lot of people, it got like 50,000 views, and I didn't have subscribers, wow. anything. And I was like, wow, this is good. Yeah. So people started asking things over and over again, the same things. And I said, okay, I'm gonna make one more video to explain how to map the drums or how to do this and that. So, man, I was doing like a video every week, and it became to a YouTube channel, a real YouTube channel.
Okay.
So I took it more seriously, and it started working. Like I got some clients, the phone started ringing again, finally, and that was really good. So.
I think I read in a book that it says like problems means opportunities.
Yeah.
So I think that was the case, like you have to find yourself in a certain situation that you actually got to like this new idea and face it, and now you got this channel, and as I told you before, like it was quite surprising to me to know that you live here, because I normally follow as well another account that I don't know if you know Hector John from Audio Production.
Yeah.
So like I used to follow him first before, and then I was like searching for more stuff because I was quite confused about. I don't remember what I was confused about, and I was just searching for videos, and then you came up, and then I saw that you had more videos, and then and he followed on, and it was because it was direct as well,
Okay.
So it's like that process. So I think a lot of people can catch up with that and find themselves, immersed into like this really good quality content,
No, and the thing is, in YouTube, it's not easy because, for example, I release a video and people has like 100 on a side. That way they can pick. So you have to word the titles and stuff and speak fast, or some things that you need to know for YouTube. So that's why I say, okay, I'm going to start the Prosonic Academy. So people who wants to go, beyond that, they can go to the academy, and it will, it's the same content. I'm not gonna say this because it's for free on YouTube. I'm going to do it on a half, No, it's full. You can learn everything on YouTube, but in the academy, it's like you have access to live streaming sessions. I all the time check the mixes the students are doing, and so it's like I pay more attention because I can, it's less people as well, so I can pay more attention to them. And I got some products as well, templates, presets, and stuff like that. Even when I say don't trust on presets, I try to work in a way that I know, they are going to solve problems.
Yeah.
So it's all the time trying to help people. And I do everything on my hands.
No, and like for the people that they don't know about it, so it's like I'm gonna leave the link to your website up in the down below in the description, and what I'm going to do as well is I advise people to go and have a look to your website, because I actually, you know what, like, because when I was doing the research as well, I was like, oh, that's really cool. You got even your preferences for like headphones, recommendations for interfaces,
Yes,
recommendations.
yeah.
For like, you know, even how to build your own studio, what you need to have. And it's like really straightforward. Like from what I've learned in uni, is like you explain almost the same thing, you know? It's like, and it's quite good. It's like quality knowledge they offering to people there to get out of the ignorance and get out of, you know, the lack of knowledge in this kind of stuff. And I really like appreciate that, because it's like quite good. It's so good. Another thing is like the mix templates that you go there, the you know, the courses that you offer as well. So yeah, I'm gonna leave all the information in the description so people can just go and, you know, be curious about it. And you know, it's quite good. Trust me, it's quite good. I was gonna ask you this as well. So why to help people through your YouTube channel? Like, why do you feel like?
Well, I like to help people, and the other thing is that I think I learned more than people watching my channel while I'm doing the videos. Yeah, trust me, because I have to research a lot of things. I don't know it all, you know, so all the time I'm watching other videos and trying to take information from, you know, from different websites or other videos or other YouTubers even, and make like, okay, I'm gonna make this piece of content that I know it's going to help, and you know, in a short amount of time. That's what I try to do. And I like to teach. I didn't know I like to teach, and I found out
You found
because
it.
on YouTube. Yeah.
So how do you feel about your career? Like, how long do you see yourself working on this industry?
Well, I hope for many years from now. I really like what I do. Finally, I'm in a point that I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm getting the results I expected to get. And like I have the experience I need to go through, because it's not an easy industry to work in. So yeah, sometimes we want that opportunity, but sometimes we are just not prepared for it yet. And I think if this kind of opportunities would have come to me before, I would have been prepared. So I think this is the right time for me to do that. And you know, I'm going to take any chance I have, yeah, to do it.
Oh, that's really good, man. That's quite inspiring.
Like I said, I got a lot of plans. Probably some of them will be happening in 1 year, probably in 10 years. It doesn't matter, but I keep working on it. Like I want to build like a mix with the master in Spanish someday.
Okay.
So hopefully I would like to have another producers and mixers on the platform, not just me talking all the time.
Okay. No, absolutely.
Because for example, I can mix or teach how to mix a metal song, but it's better if we have a metal producer doing it, you know.
Okay. So someone specialized in certain things.
I really love to do that in the future.
It's so good, man. I mean, that's a really, really good dream to have. And I think it's important because, you know, like if you look at like throughout the history of like, you know, our music and the history of our people, and you know, like always, you know, don't get me wrong, but like you know the UK, they got the history in like inventing this stuff, like the Germans with the knives and stuff, you know, it's something that, you know, at the end of the day, it would be quite cool to like, you know, bring our own thing, and as you said, probably with more professionals in the field with, you know, the mixing part, and you know, teaching to other people to do it. That's another like dream I had as well. Like one of the things I always like would like to do is probably one day have my own institute of like music production recorded by like back in my country, you know, in Colombia, and helping like young guys to come out of the streets and stop doing, you know, stuff that they shouldn't do, and just go to music if they want to, and to have the opportunity, you know, like if you know a technical language in English as well, that helps a lot if they want to go and work in the States. So, come to Europe, they can, speak with anybody and work with anybody in any venue, and, they can do anything, have the same opportunities. So I think that's a quite cool thing that you say, like probably have your own mix with the masters in Spanish. And, that's quite cool. Like if you can like bring, I don't know, like for example, like mix with the masters, they go Andres, the guys from Despacito, Mosti, like that's like really cool, And
that was a surprise to me, and they were doing it in Spanish.
Yeah,
so I was
they
like,
didn't
what?
care, like they just were speaking Spanish, And I feel like, and they were going to do a mix with the masters in France this month, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I think it already was last week, I think.
Yeah, it was last week. And I was like, they couldn't go. But, but that kind of stuff, like if you can do that one day, like your own thing, that's really good. That's really cool. Yeah. Okay, so let's jump into the section 2. This is more about your professional techniques when working with artists and record labels, and your perspective as well as a professional. So this is based on my project, on my research question, which is which are the processes a music producer must follow to progressively develop an artist when constructing their unique sonic identity. So the first question I've had for you is, what are the most important factors to have present when starting to work with an artist? What are the points to have, like, that's the most important points you have to have present when starting to work with an artist from the beginning?
Yeah, well, depends if we're talking about producing or mixing, because are two different things. In terms of producing, to me, the most important thing is the connection that you have with the artist.
Okay.
And that's something that sometimes I struggle a little bit with working with reggaeton or trap, for example, because I see artists that they take a 2-track from whatever, and they put the vocals on top and they make a song. And I'm not saying it's a bad way to do it. It's fine because it works. But to me, it has to be more like a connection with the artist. So to me, that's the most important thing. And that way, you feel comfortable in the studio, and it's easier and faster to drop ideas,
And just make it.
Yeah.
And so the connection, that's like the thing that you would normally think about.
Actually, when I produce songs, normally are my friends. Are bands that I already know because I probably mixed song for them before. And then, let's start producing a song, and we just do it. Okay.
So how do you know when an artist is like following the right or wrong direction musically, and that they're not trying to force themselves like through a musical genre that does not fit with their identity, tonality, and performance?
Well, I think when they just don't care about anything, that's what feels right for me. And I think they are going in the right way. Because sometimes people, they are just taking as reference the bands they like, for example, but they are trying to follow a path. And that to me is saying we are not going anywhere, because I always say if you are not original about an idea, always it's going to be it's a copy. How good it's going to be or how bad, but never you're going to say you all the time are going to have I don't know how to say that. Like you can compare it with with the one, So it's not as good enough or whatever. But if you do just something original, it's like, or it's good, or you can like it or not.
Okay.
But it's nobody can say this is,
this is new, or like, there is obviously there's always influences. Like everybody has influences.
Yeah, you of course, but you need to go on your way. And that to me, when I see an artist that is doing that, man, I go all the way.
All the way.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't matter if they don't make it at the end. I don't care, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy the process.
That's a really good quote of yours that you just said. Like when an artist just doesn't care about anything, like they don't care about what people might think about you know, my music because I'm exploring a new kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good quote, man. That's, trust me, that, you see, I told you I'm gonna learn. That's I never thought of that because when I made the same question to other people, they answered something different as well.
Okay.
So like, in terms of like telling them not to follow it, or like, oh, this is not probably for you, or the opposite, like let them do that thing, and if that goes wrong, they're gonna find out by themselves. But like you said, like if they don't care, that's because they're going in the right direction. That's a good thing. That's another perspective, you know?
Yeah, and I think to do that, you just need confidence. If you have that, you're gonna make it. And that's why it happens with big artists, for example. You see, they don't care. They just make a song. You can see, I don't know, Bad Bunny making a rock track.
And
he doesn't care, you know? But probably someone who is just starting, they say, okay, Bad Bunny did this, so I'm going to try to sound like this, and you know.
But do you feel like an artist should stick to one type of music, or they should like explore, or if they want to? Because I know.
I think they should explore.
Okay.
You never know what can happen. You know?
Yeah, because let's say if you during your artistic career you just always done, for example, rock. But like someday you just wake up and you make like a really good lyrics in hyperpop or like K-pop or I don't know, indie pop. You know.
I think that the thing is the reason why you are doing it. You know, because if you are just following somebody else's steps, it's not going to feel, you know, like true, or you know.
Okay.
I don't know if I explain myself.
No, I completely understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes there are artists that, okay, I'm going to do this because somebody else is doing it, and I'm gonna try it out and see if it works. But it can seem sometimes like you are doing it for that reason. You know, it's too obvious.
It's too obvious.
So in that case, no, man, it's better than don't do it because it's not gonna work.
So, but do you think like the time that you take making a track, it matters? Because let's say, for example, you know, like Thriller by Michael Jackson, you know, it took years of just making that album, and right now people is consuming music every Friday and Thursday. So like, what do you think about that? Like the consumption of music, that probably helps or stops artists from developing, or what do you think about it?
I think like all the time it's been like that. It's like decades of music.
Okay.
And it's because, I mean, most of the people, they are going to try to follow a path already done, you know? But at the end, someone is going to come with something new, and you know, those are the ones that are going to be big artists.
Big artists.
It's like when you see, for example, I don't know, Billie Eilish, for example. It was something new. It was something, she doesn't sound like anyone else. And there is a lot of artists now trying to do that.
Okay.
So that's going to be like saturate in a moment, and then
it gets to the peak.
Someone else it's going to come and do something new. So I think it's like a repetitive process. It's the way I see it.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not too old to say, okay, this has been happening for this amount of years, but you know, I've lived like 3 decades now of music, and I know how it
kind of like goes. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So what's your philosophy of work as a mixing engineer? Like, what's your philosophy that you think is like your, let's say the vision, the philosophy?
Well, in mixing, a little bit different than producing. I when I'm mixing, I just try to respect the work the artist did, the recording studio, and just enhance it and try to make it better. That's it. I just want to then feel happy with the song, and they say, all right, this is how I imagine the song sounding, and that's it. If I do that, I'm happy with it.
But like, do you take a lot of like processing, or like sometimes you think like some songs shouldn't have that much processing? Or
okay, well, it depends, because sometimes when I work with experienced producers, the song is already mixed. So I just do a couple of tweaks and that's it. You know, But sometimes the mixing process, I have to tune vocals, I have to edit some things still. So it depends. It depends. I try not to process too much the songs,
Okay.
but sometimes you have to do it, you know.
Have you ever had to reject a music project or you had to like just adapt to it? And
Yes, I have done it a lot of times. All the time it happens. And it could happen because, I mean, sometimes the artist is, or the song is not ready to be mixed and they don't know it.
okay.
You know, a lot of people works in home studios now, and I mean, I never say no and that's it. I all the time try to explain why and say, man, you can fix this, and then send me the song and we can mix it. But you need to do this right, okay? Because sometimes people, when they are not experienced, they think in the mixing process everything is going to, you know, to shine, and we come with the magic one and boom, this is it. And it doesn't work like that. So sometimes I'm not just the right person for the project, depending on the music genre or how I feel the person. You know, it's very important to me, the relationship and the connection with the people. I all the time make a video call before with the artist.
Okay.
We speak a little bit, and I like to work that way. I know it's not the one everybody works right now, because everybody's trying to make, you know, 4 mixes in a day and, you know, make as much money they can. But I don't like to work that way. I like to take my time to speak to people, to know what they want. I all the time look what they have done before, and, you know.
So you think that, like, what would happen if, I don't know, if someone comes with a project about 10 grand or 15 grand and it's just not your thing, what would you do?
Well, that's a tough one. In that case, I think I would take it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, or you probably would just like create like a team of people or try to
The thing
help
is,
it,
the people who got big budgets to work, they worry about recording and producing everything like they should. And the people who has bad recordings, they are not gonna pay 15,000.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They don't even want to pay, you know, for it. So yeah, with the time you understand how it works and how different clients will approach you. You know already how it is.
Yeah, because like I was so impressed because like but behind the scenes before like the previous interview I had with Dukas, he told me something about that he told me this experience. No, it wasn't behind the scenes of the interview. It was long ago when I was in the first sessions I had with him in Sensible Studios, where One Direction recorded, and you know, it was a really good studio in King's Cross. And he told me once, like, he got offered a project, one song he had to fix. Like they told him, like, you have to fix this song no matter what. And the project, just one song, I think it was one song, it was £6,000, and he rejected it. He was like, no, this is unfixable. You know, I can't do this.
Yeah, now sometimes you have to say no. I mean, if you are a professional, you know till what point you can get. You know, sometimes it's just something that you can't work. No matter what you do, it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
And sometimes it depends, because sometimes there are recordings that they don't sound the best, but it's a good song, you know. And so you can make it work. That's the most important thing. If the song is good, you can make it work. It doesn't matter if it's not the best mix or the best sound, but the song is good.
The song is, it's already good, naturally. So do you think that having a closer connection with an artist outside your workplace creates a more personal and concrete workflow when understanding new ideas and projects?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I said before, even if I don't know them, I make that to happen. You know, I invite them for a drink or something, and we start talking. And I think that's the first thing you need to do.
Okay.
You need to do. Yeah, not for mixing, no, because they just send. It's more a technical process sometimes, and you just get the song. And I work with people in Los Angeles, for example. I don't know them. I don't even talk to them. I talk to the manager the producer. You know. But if you are going to produce a song, I think it's key.
So do you plan your recording sessions and projects, or do you approach every case differently?
Well, I approach them differently, but I prepare them.
Okay.
All right. So I make probably the mixing template. It's not going to be the same, but I prepare it before the session because I think it's very important to separate the technical process with the creative process. So, for example, when I'm recording, I mic'd everything up. I put my template. And so when the artists come, it's just about capturing ideas. That's it. I'm not going to stop because a microphone is not working or I have to route a signal or, you know, I don't like to do that. And when I'm mixing, the same thing. Probably at night, I prepare my session. I put my mixing template. I listen the song. If I have to fix some vocals, I have to tune vocals, edit anything. I do it, and then the next day I mix. So when I'm mixing, I know I'm just pulling up faders, and it's going to sound.
And it's going to sound okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. You know, I never thought of that in that way, because like normally, like in the modern world right now, like as you said, probably a guy just using a stereo track coming to the studio recording vocals. Like you normally expect that just to happen, you know, but it's good to like probably just pre-plan it, or at least have a quick call and pre-plan it and talk about this, or you know what, I struggle singing the chorus yet, and then you can probably figure out how to like approach the session, you know. Yeah, that's good. That's absolutely good. So, what is the best way to develop an artist from scratch when they are beginning to discover a musical identity, a sound signature, and that uniqueness that separates them from everybody else? And let's talk about it like in terms of, let's say, in the mixing process as well, because I know probably the beat or the instrumental or the song is really well composed and arranged, but what about the mixing? You know, do you think that can give them that uniqueness as well?
Yeah, of course. It could. It depends on if they allow you to do it as well.
Okay.
Because sometimes the songs just comes and you even have a rough mix that you have to follow, so you can go farther than that. But if they say just do your thing, which happens a lot of time, I love that mixes because I can go more creative. And you know, it depends on the music genre, the artist. Sometimes, if it's reggaeton, for example, of course I focus on the beat. And in mixing, like I said, it's more technical thing. So, but in terms of producing, I all the time, well, before it was jamming. You know, that was the best way to find musical identity.
Okay.
Because nothing better than to pick an instrument and start jamming with people and see what comes up, you know. Right now, because it's more like in the box, making beats and stuff, it's more individually, it's an individual thing. But I think it comes with the artist. You know, it's more like, because I'm not going to develop an artist. I know a producer can do it, making a beat, but I think it comes with the artist, and it just feels right when it, you know, when it.
When you match them.
Even making a beat, if you make a beat and sometimes you bring someone to sing on top of it, it just doesn't feel right, you know. So to me, it's more a feeling.
It's a feeling. It's something that you just identify straight away.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but have you encountered scenarios where you were requested like to produce or to mix or to record a song from other musical genres that you did not know anything about?
Yes, has happened to me. And all the time when I'm mixing, I use reference tracks.
Okay.
Not because I'm trying to sound the same. It's just to see how they work, the balance of the song, what kind of instruments, and like you know, the big picture is what I care about. and trying to get that. I mean, there are so many music genres, and when you work as a mixer, for example, it has happened to me. Metal bands, they don't call me now because they see me mixing pop on YouTube, for example.
Okay.
But sometimes I'm not too pop for them, so they don't call me because they saw me mixing a drum kit, for example, and he mixes rock music.
Okay.
So that's hard, and you try to keep aware of that, because if you go with just one music genre, it could be difficult to you to develop a career. So I try to mix everything, and it's possible. All right, I know there is people who mix just hip hop, for example, but it's because they get that work. It's not because they can't mix anything else. Because at the end of the day, it's just instruments. And if you have reference, and you need to listen music, of course. I listen everything. I listen reggaeton, hip hop, rock, metal, pop, everything.
But like that's even though you're not producing as much as you mixing, but like the fact that you like now open to listen to more musical genres, like it helps you in a way to like identify how to approach a song when it comes in. Oh yeah, this is reggaeton, but probably I know this track probably reference it. And yeah, that's kind of like the way.
Yes, of course. And you need to know the instrumentation that is normally used. For example, like I said, if you're mixing a reggaeton, I know I have to have the beat right, and sounding good and hitting hard. I know already that because it's reggaeton, it's music to dance. So, yeah, if you're mixing rock, it's about guitars,
So which are your methods to identify what process to take with new artists in terms of recording and strategies, editing and mixing approaches? So let's say when you're working with an artist that's just beginning, compared to like a record label from Spain or the States where, an artist has already been working for some time and you have to like just catch up with the sound that that artist has already from some time. Like what are your methods for like just working with an artist from that's just beginning? That they bring you the production already, they bring you they're probably, the idea, but like how do you approach like the recordings in terms of like, I don't know, probably mics? Do you test mics? Change mics just for them? Probably is not a condenser the best way to go. Probably is a dynamic, or I don't know, mixing approaches. I don't know. When working with an artist from the beginning, they just starting.
That all happens on the first talk, like I said before, and what they like, what kind of music they hear, and depending on what's the vibe of the record, about the lyrics as well.
Okay.
Lyrics can say a lot. And if we are coming just to start jamming in the studio, that's another thing. You don't know until something happens. But I all the time, even if it's a new band, there is some background all the time, something that I did before or anything, a demo or something that can tell you something about them. That's important.
So when tracking artists, what is your methodology to achieve the best results, and how do you know what take is the take? So when you're recording people, like, what's your methodology like to know, that's the right take, or
Well, when I'm recording, I try to go as simple as possible. There is people who like to put 10 microphones on a guitar amp. I don't like that.
Okay.
I go with 1-2 microphones, that's it, and I take decisions in the moment. I think that's the best way. And I think if you work that way, all the ideas will come better and faster. Better ideas you can capture. And in terms of microphones and all that stuff, it depends on what we got, because most of the time we work on a budget.
Okay.
So probably you don't have the microphone you want, but it's the one we have, So you just have to make it work.
No, absolutely. But like and probably what happens, like, I don't know if you find that mic, it sounds good, but probably, it's not capturing as much as you want from that artist, or like have you ever found any cases like that you say, you know what?
Yeah, sometimes happens, but if it's the only thing you have, you need to carry on with it. If you can get a better mic or the one you need, you think is the right one, just get it. Don't wait till the mixing process to fix it. I want to get everything right from the source. And you were talking about takes. How do I know the right take?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, normally I start recording from the beginning of the session. Even when they start warming up or whatever, I'm already recording. Even if they don't know, I'm recording everything. Because normally interesting things happen at the beginning of the session. And for example, when I'm recording vocals, which I do a lot now, after a fourth, fifth take, man, you don't get anything good from it. I mean, you can go more technical, but the feeling is in the first takes because they are coming, with all the ideas and the good feeling. So I normally record the first take. You don't take too much, but second, third, fourth, after the fifth, you can start like correcting things, go more technical, but you need to get it right from those.
Have you ever encountered like artists or people that come to you to record and they have their preferences, like the setup in the studio and also like, I don't know, they like the lights off, or they like to, I don't know, take the t-shirt off and rap, or I don't know, something like that. Has ever happened to you? Or?
Yeah, it happens all the time. And I think you just need to do whatever they want to feel comfortable and because the good ideas depends on it. So everything is possible to do, of course, because anything crazy, but if they want to turn off the lights, just do it.
But do you have your rules, like, drinking or, alcohol?
I don't like that. I don't like that because I think it doesn't help at all. If you want to do it before or after, it's fine. But during the session, I don't like to do it, Whereas people probably do it and it goes good for them, but I don't like to do it.
So, like, do you recommend, like, making that clear to artists when coming to the studio? Or
yes, I do.
Or do you think, like, that kills the vibe? Or?
Well, sometimes happens, but if it's the rules, it's the rules, and that's it. Yeah. Because I need to be comfortable as well working, not just them.
Yeah, because imagine you're just mixing and, I don't know, weed and the stuff just happening around the room. It's like inappropriate, because I know that some labels and people and rappers just,
and if you're drinking, probably you feel everything is okay, but probably it's not. And the next day you listen what you recorded and it's not that good, So I like to be conscious on what I'm doing.
So I think you're gonna like this question. Should the artists know some basic technical language to at least being able to communicate ideas more effectively to the producer or sound engineer?
Yes, definitely. They have to. It changes the way they approach the recording process, even when they are writing a song, because you already know what's going to happen during the mixing and mastering process and what is impossible to do during the mixing process. And because, like I said before, some people think, in the mixing process is where everything is going to be fixed, and it doesn't work that way sometimes. So it's good for them to know and even to communicate with me. For example, some artists sometimes they want something, but they don't know how to tell you. So, of course, through the experience, you know how to understand them, no matter how they try to sound you. Yeah, but you understand. But yeah, it's very important for them to learn that.
So how likely do you suggest artists to learn about recording themselves, to create demos, or any other purposes that you could advise?
And just buy a laptop and microphone and interface. That's it. And YouTube has all the information you need. You don't need to be a mixer engineer or recording engineer. You just need to know the basics, and you can record your demos, go to the studio with a clear idea of what you want. So yeah.
So how do you approach a song when considering listening expectations? So for instance, as you were talking about reggaeton, like, that the kick has to, like, kick hard, and it has to be like really, really punchy, and the phase of the vocals, and like, how do you approach the song when there is always, listening expectations, people that this goes for this type of audience, this song goes to this type of audience. So how do you approach that? Like, how do you know how to do it?
Yeah, well, it's not easy because you need to, the artist have to be happy with it, the producer, and then the people who is going to actually listen to the music, all right? So, like you say, if you're mixing a reggaeton and it's going to be sounding on discos and it's for people to dance, the approach is going to be different, all right? I'm going to be focused on drums, for example, or in vocals. Drums, vocals, bass, that's it. But it's not easy and you have your own taste as well. So sometimes I'm mixing something that I don't necessarily like that much, but it's what they want. So to me, in my case, to me, the most important thing is the people who is going to listen to music.
Okay.
That's the main thing to me. But, it depends on the artist.
So, from your own opinion and experience, if I tell you, like, that song sounds completely like fast food music, like, what do you understand about it, and how do you differentiate a track that is gonna last for decades and another one that is just fast food music, like for just 1 week?
Well, it could be, if we go technical here, it could be the production part, so how it's been the song produced. But most of the time we think on pop music when we talk about fast food. We can say pop music because there is like music. A formula like you can follow. But the thing is, even the simple music genre like reggaeton, which is a beat, is normally the same thing all the time. It's not, I wouldn't call it fast food,
Okay.
Because it has some work and you need to know some things. It's not that simple to make it. So to me, any genre, it's fast food. I don't know. And some songs, you hear it just once and it's going to last forever. I haven't heard a song like that for a long time now, really, but it depends.
Yeah, it's kind of, it depends, yeah.
I mean, if I knew that, I was probably the best producer now, but...
Because there isn't like a formula to say that's gonna be a hit, yeah.
It's all about feeling. Sometimes you feel you have a good song, you don't know if it's gonna be a big hit, but it's going to be a good song.
Have you had to work stuck to a brief or compulsory instructions? How do you feel about it, and why will you or will you not prefer it?
Well,
so again, have you had to work stuck to a brief, like to instructions, like it has to be this and it has to be that, like they give you like a list of instructions? Do you like to work that way? Do you prefer it, or will you not prefer it?
I don't like to work that way, but it happens a lot.
Okay.
And it happens when you work with artists that they know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said before, sometimes you get productions that they are already mixed. They got a rough mix that could be uploaded on Spotify already. They just want you to like check it out and just to be sure that someone else is saying it's right. And so there are a lot of instructions there that don't touch this, or this is my vocal chain, don't touch it. So probably it's not working that good with the song, but you can't touch it. So you have to make it work in some way. So probably you're going to change something else to make it work with that vocal. So yeah, it's harder to work that way, but it happens a lot. Yeah.
So have you ever had to like work on a budget threshold with a record label before?
Well, not with a record label, but on a budget, yeah, definitely.
And how is it? How was the experience?
Well, it's challenging and it's interesting at the same time, because when you have all the tools, everything is easier, of course, and you can pick whatever mic you want. But when you got a really shit mic and you have to make it work, that's challenging. And I like to do that as well.
Oh, really?
When sometimes it's interesting, and sometimes good things comes from that as well. Because it pushes you to a limit. You need to make it work, and that's it. There's no options. So sometimes when you have too many options, you waste time just picking the right one.
Okay. No, I get it. Okay, that's another perspective. Yeah, I never thought that.
And when I'm mixing a song, for example, I have a lot of plugins from every brand. But if you see my mixing template, I got the same ones that I use all the times, because I don't want to waste time just picking plugins. And I go with the one I know, and that's it.
So what do you think about record labels? Is it a viable option still to consider? Or any advice for new artists, contracts and that stuff?
Well, I think they are a good option depending on what level are you as an artist. Because if you're just starting, man, do your thing, put your music on Spotify by yourself and get some experience. Because like we were talking before, you need to be ready to deal with a record label. They are not easy going, so you need to be ready for it. And of course, there is a good option if you are in that level where there's no more possibilities that you can do by yourself, so you need them. And I know some people complain about, percentage and stuff. They take a lot of money from the artists, but at the end of the day, it's better a 20% of a lot of money than 100% of nothing.
Of nothing, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. But I think it's you need to wait for the right moment to get a manager. That's another thing. Some artists, I need a manager because they are going to, put me on festivals and stuff. And they are not going to find jobs for you. They are going to manage the job you've found,
Okay.
So there is a right moment for the artists to get to a manager, to a record label. The same thing for mixer engineers, for example. There are mixers, if you go to Andrew Sheps, or I don't know, Chad Blake, they have managers because they have a lot of mixes going.
Jesus.
But what are you gonna do with a manager and you are mixing one song every month? It's like.
So how do you advise, mixing engineers that just starting right now to get themselves out there? They should actually get a lot of more work for them.
Well, first of all, learn the craft. You need to learn what you're doing, do it right, because if you get a good opportunity and you don't do a good mix, it's even worse.
Wow.
It's better than you don't get the client. And after that, man, you have to be out there on social media. You have to create content. Doesn't matter if it's not teaching, but you need to show your studio, show what you're doing, show your mixes. And talk to people, send messages, but not like spam messages, Sometimes I get a lot of messages like, oh, hear my song, or you can listen this here in this link. No, I'm not going to go there, Just do it naturally and it will work.
So do you feel like they should start with the local community and then, or how would you go? Because I've seen a lot of videos as well, because people recommending, I don't know, just go to the church, go to, stuff like that.
Yeah, you could do it, but now with internet, with Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, there's no need to go to, or just to keep working just with the people you have around. You can go further than that. And it's like my example. I was during the pandemic, I didn't get any jobs. So I started a YouTube channel. Of course, it takes time. And that's what people sometimes doesn't understand. They want everything, right now.
Right now on the fly.
And you need to just work and carry on and be consistent. That's very important. Some people they make 10 mixes and they post 10 pictures on Instagram and that's it. I didn't get any clients. Doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I did like 200 videos on YouTube to get the first call from a brand, for example, to make a review or to get a sponsor. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. You recently, because I watched one of your videos recently, you got you got these headphones. I don't know the brand.
With Auto Audio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, because the YouTube channel, it helps a lot for you to work with brands and do reviews and stuff like that. So, yeah, I got sometimes brand and they say, hey, can you try this? Can you try that? It's not like people think. People think they are paying you money to say something. No, it doesn't work that way. It's just they send it to you so you can show it if you think it's a good product and a good option for people. So you talk about it and that's it. But yeah, if you create good content, you will find clients.
So, for example, normally when you try and find these kind of opportunities with brands, or sometimes just as you said, you probably go to another country to work on, I don't know, a commercial or whatever but they normally request you to have a cover letter, like a CV on it, or what's the normal thing that happened to you so other people can know about it?
Well, I'm not good with cover letters.
Okay.
And I think that's the reason why I'm doing everything by myself. Okay. I never got a job on a recording studio. I never got a job with a brand or a music store, anything. And sometimes I felt very frustrated because I think, but I know how to mix, I know how to use compressors. Why I can't work in a recording studio, even to be an assistant or something? But there's no enough opportunities out there right now. So you need to create your own space. And that's what I decided to do with my YouTube channel and online academy. And I have my studio as well. I mix songs, I master songs. So you have to create your own space. And if you do it the right way, more people will want to come and be part of it,
Because obviously you're doing a good quality product and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be, because you can pay ads and all that stuff, but if what you're doing is not good enough, man, you're just wasting your money.
Wasting your money.
Yeah.
I was listening to some of the tracks that you I don't know if all of them are just mixes or if you produce some of them.
Well,
because I was looking at some of the tracks. For example, one I liked a lot is No Remix by Nico Rengifo.
That's a remix. That's a remix, and I did it for the online academy.
Oh, wow.
So I uploaded, I didn't mix the official song, but I did that like a remix. So, yeah. But some of those tracks, I've produced them.
Okay.
With Corea La Buena. It's a band from Spain.
Okay.
It's an indie rock band.
And this guy, Benjamin John, that song Better Way is really good as well.
Yeah, it's really good song.
It's really good. That's when I was trying to talk about you in terms of when one of the questions was about that, probably if the mixing kind of made it sound like he sounds in that song, Because he sounds like, you can tell he's a singing songwriter type of song.
Yeah, it's a songwriter.
So, but obviously you made him sound really, really good. It has a personality.
Well, I took more like a pop approach.
Okay.
Yeah, but keeping it at the same time like a country sound or more natural. I don't want it to overproduce it. Yeah.
But what do you think is the best work you've done? That you think oh, this is the best?
Well, last mixes always are my favorite ones because I have more knowledge. And sometimes when I listen mixes that I did 5 years ago, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of. I mixed an EP for Erika Sanchez.
Okay.
She's a gospel artist from Costa Rica, and I'm very happy with the results. I really liked it, and it was the first time I mixed a gospel record.
Wow.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
It's
Good
quite
musicians recording that.
It's quite powerful, no?
Yeah, the drummer and the bass player, man, great musicians.
It's really good. No, I was like, just because I had to like listen to it, I was like, I need to listen to your work because one thing is like looking at you in the tutorials and teaching how to do stuff, but another thing is like, oh wow, listen to the result. It's like, oh geez, this sounds really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, it sounds really good. And mainly that track, the one I told you, the Nico Rengifo. It's not because it's more urban, but like it's just the quality is so good as well. And the guy Better Way.
That one is very powerful. The Nico Rengifo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. It's really
actually that was the online academy was a course that I did on how to mix vocal with a 2-track. So actually I had the 2-track, but I worked a lot of parallel compression and I did a lot of stuff to make it sound, because that's the problem when you mix a vocals with a 2-track. If the mix is not good, the stereo track, there is no way that you can get in and fix things.
it. Yeah.
So there are you can use just a couple of tools to make it work.
Okay.
So I was teaching how to do that, and that was the result.
The result.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. So now let's jump into section 3 just to and finish the interview because I really want to go into these details about you live because we already done that at the beginning, but I want to go deeper. And I always like to know more about behind the scenes of the professionals I know and I really follow. So can you talk about the mountains that you had to climb to get to the point where you are at the moment? Because I know people probably they've been watching your tutorials and they think oh yeah, he's got the job, or he's got this equipment, he's got the money, he's got the opportunities already there, he's just with his academy, but probably nobody knows about what's behind the scenes, what's the process you've been through. So can you talk about it a little bit?
I get that a lot on YouTube because people just watch the top of the iceberg. So they say, okay, your mixes sound good because you have the equipment and you got the studio and those monitors. But yeah, well, there is a lot to talk about, but I'm gonna make it short. It's not being easy at all, because like I said, I've been moving a lot. But the hardest thing was the fact that I had already what I wanted. I had the studio, I had clients, I was working already on music, and then I had to leave it. Because sometimes people is trying to make it, and during the process, of course, you are going to be frustrated. Okay, I want to get there, and you're just working on it. But I did it, and then I just had to leave it one day, and that was it. So it was very tough, and so I went to United States. I was doing any job, to get the money to pay bills, and I was thinking all the time about that. Okay, I had this and I had that, and now, I don't. It was very hard, but that to me was the biggest learning process. I learned a lot during that process because I found out that the only way to do it was just carry on, pursue what you want. And I took branches all the time, or a few times, because I studied for private pilot, for example.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I took different jobs because sometimes it was I hate music. I don't want to do it anymore.
Wow.
This is not for me. I'm not gonna make it. And I had to sell all the equipment, buy it again when I went to Spain, then sell it because I was coming to UK. Well, it's been very hard. And when I started the YouTube channel, I think I shared that on a live streaming when I got to 10K subscribers.
Okay.
Man, I started the YouTube channel in a shed on a garage.
Wow.
You know, it was like 1 meter by 2 meters square. So I had to do like this to get in. And it was very hot. And on winter, you can imagine, it was cold that I couldn't even talk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But that was the only thing I had, and I had to do it, you know. And now I got sponsors and I got, you know, good equipment in the studio. But it took like, 7 years to make it again.
To make it again.
It took me like 10 years in Venezuela to make it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's not easy. But
everything is like obviously it's a process, you know. So
yeah, it is, of course.
But like at the end of the day, you know, like that made you, you know, someone who's really pursuing the career, but also is offering that to the community, and that's a big plus, you know. It's a big plus, because imagine if, as you said, probably if 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, I don't know, Andrew Sheps was making tutorials for everybody on YouTube. It's like, you know, the story would be different, you know, access to more stuff and, you know.
When I first started, there was no YouTube. There was no pure mix or mix with the masters, anything. I remember the first time I went to the United States, I bought like 3 books on Guitar Center. And I didn't know English. I was just following the pictures and trying to translate something. So I read every book like 3 times, 4 times. And I understood probably at 20%. So with that information, I was just, you know, trying. And but I really wanted to do it.
And how's your, in terms of like probably personal life, if you want to talk about it, but like how's it been in terms of like the support from your family, or I don't know, have you got that from your family, or is it you been just lone wolf? I don't know.
No, at the beginning, you know, every mom and dad, they are afraid that you go with the music thing because, you know, there is no money on it, and, you know. But I had a lot of support from them. When they see how committed I was, they started supporting me. And right now it happens as well with my wife here. She's
supporting
right here with me, and she works with Prosonic as well.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Yeah, so because it's been growing up, and so now it's the like demand, a thing, it's not just me. So that helped me a lot to keep it, you know, growing.
But that, you know, it's good that I thank you for talking about it, because, you know, as I said, people from Prosonic in the YouTube or probably in the academy, they don't know this stuff, and it's important they know, because like they should feel like you are someone to them that is similar, that you're not just bigger than that, or because you live in the UK you're more than them. No, it's you know, you got a lot of trouble to come where you are at the moment, and you still have it, you know. You still have to keep going and chasing it. And I think that's something that a lot of people should take in account and don't take it for granted, you know, like, oh yeah, this guy there, you know, it's easy for them. And because I see it from the perspective of, you know, living in South America, for example, where you lack a lot of opportunities, and, you know, but like recently, you know, I think that it's possible to do it as long as you got.
It is possible. Probably, of course, for some people it takes probably 2 years, for others takes 10. Other people never make it. It could happen, you know, but you have to take the risk. If you don't do it, how are you gonna know that, you know?
That's gonna happen.
Yeah, of course. So you have to make it. And I get a lot of messages from people from Latin America, for example, saying there's no opportunities here, or we're not gonna make it because we are here. And that's not the reason, you know. Now with the internet, man, you can be everywhere you want. Doesn't matter if you are there. I have friends who works from Venezuela. They have YouTube channels, and they make good money. They work on music, you know, and so there's no excuses. I know it's more difficult for some people, but man, it is what it is. That's life, and you just have to to go through it
and pursue it. No, absolutely. Imagine I remember back then when I was, I was probably 15. Yeah, I was still in secondary school, and I used to like play clarinet for like folkloric stuff, chirimia, all that stuff.
Okay.
And sometimes I used to get paid just to go and play in in a place, I don't know, for like 1 or 2 hours, you get like $5 or something like that. And I used to do like, every weekend, and with that I used to like pay for like buying my guitar. And that's how it is, man. You have to chase it. You can't just rely on it. I never imagined like to be in the UK and like being able to have access to this and study, and you never think of that. I never thought of it. Never in my life, because I come from the neighborhood as well in Colombia. I come from like really, I wasn't rich at all. It is that way. But you have to keep chasing it.
Yeah, no, and everybody's going to have different opportunities. And for example, in my case, I always dreamed to come to a audio school like this one and to have access to this, and I never could. And now, for example, I have the online academy, and I have people who study. They are studying right now in Psy Institute, for example, and they are in the academy. And sometimes I say, "Wow, I always wanted to go there," and now they are here in the academy. So it's hard because sometimes I feel like the imposter syndrome. Like, man, I'm good enough to teach someone who is studying in an audio institute.
Yeah.
But if they are here, it's because they are getting some information that they want or they need. So that to me, it's good enough,
No, absolutely. No, absolutely. Don't take it for granted. It's obviously really valuable information. As I told you at the beginning, sometimes, lectures put it in this way, and it's so complex, and then you just do the same thing, but more simple, and, you understand it.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's about experiences.
Yeah.
And my experiences are going to be different than yours. So if I can pass that to other people, then I'm happy to do it,
Absolutely. So, I think that's pretty much it. Like, Carlos, thank you very much for coming today. And I really appreciate, I never thought I was going to meet you in person. That's so good, man. Because like, I told you, man, you never think, even though probably you're not that famous, but for me, like, you're important because you have contributed with your channel to like my growth, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here, but like, I know some stuff because I watch your videos, and I really want to thank you for offering that help for others in the community. And it's important to open that space for you and interviewing you, because I wanted to know more about you, but it's good that more people get access to this and watch it, so
thank you for this, man. It makes me very happy as well to know someone who follows the channel and the work I do. That's something that I didn't think about probably 2 years ago when I first started the channel. It was something more like, okay, I'm going to share this and see what happens. But it makes me very happy to know that.
No, absolutely. And I will I always recommend your channel to like my fellow friends and artists that I know here. Like some Latin people, because they have to work here and it's really expensive, and not everyone has access to, just go to uni and focus on uni. So some people have been recently asking me like, where should I go to study music production? Where can I go to learn mixing, at least my vocals, so I can submit the cover to YouTube or something like that. And this is a really good space for people, to come to you, and I will totally recommend it. I recommend to everybody to recommend it when they kind of learn it. That's really good.
Thank you
for
so
that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right.
Carlos. Thank you.